Hey, chickadees. On today's episode of Mojo Mysticism, we're going to talk about the formula for starting something new. So if you've got something new going on in your life, come on in and join us. All right, welcome into today's episode of Mojo Mysticism. Today we are pulling from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. Our guides are bringing us back here. It's very interesting, so we'll see what they have for us today. I think it's 3 cards. That's what it feels like to me. And we're just, again, using an open subject. It's like, just teach us what you want to teach us today. So let's see what they come up with. I'm sure it will be interesting. So, yep, there's the first one. And I don't know if you saw me, if you've seen me before do this, but essentially what happens, okay, so you see this card has been out. Nope, that's 2 cards, so that's not it. Usually what our guides will do, what my guides will do, is they will let a single card pop out. And then what I will do is I will feel that card. So I will feel it and just tune in. And yes, this is the 3rd card, so they will tell me if it's not. So, all right, so 3 cards are out. We are ready to turn them over and see what we've got today. Oh, wow. Okay. So, today we have new life in the reverse. So this is in a protection position. And then we have and this was card number 39. And then we have card number 41, which is soulmates. And card number 7, which is to the sea. And we're going to talk about each of these individually, and then we're going to look at the broader message that our guides have for us. Okay, so new life, card number 39. This card is in the protection position, and what it's reminding us of is that there's some aspect of our life that feels new or where we don't have a lot of experience. I'm in one of those. I'm sure, if our guides are pulling this up, you probably got an area too that's new for you. And this new life, this area of it, what it's asking us to do is to be open and curious, to follow the nudges, right? And it's asking us to understand that we haven't yet hit our stride with whatever this is. So for me, I've been in a transition period that's been going on for almost 10 months. Wait, 10 months? Holy cow. Has it been that long? See, 9 months. I have to count on my hands. But I've been in a transition period where what is coming next was completely foreign to me. It is becoming clearer and clearer, and I'm becoming prepared very quickly for it. And it's still new. There's still so many things that I don't know about what's coming next for me that are, the guides are going to introduce to me at the right time. And so I'm being asked to just be patient and understand that I haven't hit my stride, and that I have a lot of questions, and that I don't have a lot of answers, and I get frustrated about that sometimes. And so where in your life is that happening? Where in your life is it happening where there's something new, or you don't have all the answers, and you're being asked to do something that's kind of foreign to you? I will tell you, let's see, I think this YouTube channel it's 11 months old. So 11 months ago, I literally got up that morning, if you haven't heard the story yet, got up one morning and my guides said, you're going to start a YouTube channel. And I said, no, I don't think so. And they said, oh yes, you are. Wipe your slate clean. You're going to start a YouTube channel. And I argued with them because I was like, I don't know anything about starting a YouTube channel. I'm a consumer of YouTube, not a creator of YouTube things, or of all things YouTube. And they said, doesn't matter, you're going to start one today. I was like, okay, fine. Like that little kid that's throwing or the teenager that's throwing a fit because, dad says go out and rake the leaves, and you're like, I don't want to do it, and you're like, okay, fine, I'll do it. I was like that kid throwing a tantrum. So did I do it? Yes, I did it. Did I know anything about what I was doing? No, I did not. And if you go back and watch the first videos on this channel, you'll be like, oh girl, no, you really didn't know what you were doing. But you know what? Eventually I was obedient. I was not initially obedient, but eventually I was, and got it done. And now here we are today, still doing YouTube videos. So yeah, so new life. And have I learned a lot in the last 10 months? You betcha I have. And what's really interesting about it is that I'm also going to launch a coaching program for my other business. So getting all these skills about how to do this a little bit better than I started out anyway has been really, really helpful. So, great. So I know that in the next 6 months, I'm going to continue to learn new things and watch as my life evolves even further. And I'm down for it. So, because I've seen just in the last 10 months that I can learn new things. I'm an old dog for sure, but I can learn new things. So, yeah, so what in your life is new for you? What is it that you don't know all the answers to, that you're being called to do, that you're excited about? That's your new life. And so that brings us to card number 2, which is soulmates. This is card 41. Does this mean romantic relationships? Sure, it could. But it also means any other friendship. Because we have people that come into our lives. Sometimes they come into our lives and they stay there. And sometimes they're here for a very short period of time. I'm going to give you an example. There were some friends that Tina and I met a few years ago. And we met these people at a restaurant, and we went and had dinner with them, and we enjoyed having dinner with them. And so we had dinner with them again, dinner number 2. And at dinner number 2, one of the folks that we were having dinner with says they were dealing with a death in their family, and she says, oh, I need to go see my medium. And I said, oh, really? Who is this medium that you speak of? And she told me, and I forgot then. So we have dinner number 3. I didn't forget that she had seen a medium. I also didn't forget that that medium was local in the area that I live in. And I was insanely curious how that meeting went for her, that session with her medium. And so at dinner number 3, I asked about the medium. I said, how was your appointment? And she said, it was wonderful. It's always wonderful. And, and she, talked a little bit about it. I wasn't prodding because I don't do that. I just wanted to know, did it help? Did she find it helpful? And, the answer was yes. And so I said, you know what, would you mind, could I have the information, the contact information from that, from your medium? And she said, sure. And interestingly, that medium is now one of my coaches. So, and here's the most interesting part. Those people that we went to dinner with, 3 dinners, never seen them again. Because they weren't meant to be in our life forever. They were meant to be in our life so that I could meet this other individual. And once I met the other individual, they kind of evaporated into the background. And it wasn't intentional. It wasn't intentional on our part. We enjoyed spending time with them. And it wasn't intentional on their part. It was just that the time had gone. And it was time to let it go. So know that soulmates can be friends that come into your life that walk alongside you for a short period of time, or it could be for the rest of your life. Either way, these soulmates are super important because they help us along the path that we're walking. Okay? And they are super important to build that community and build those relationships. Now, these soulmates may take the form of a group, or they may take a form of individuals or a small group of individuals. And it just depends on what your needs are at the time, and just being open to allowing the divine to bring into your life what it is that you need at that time. That is card number 2. And then card number 3 comes up, and this is card number 7, to the sea. When you take that new life and it's coupled with soulmates that help you understand and help you move along that path and move from having no experience with what you're doing to becoming experienced, right, in whatever aspect it is that you're involved in, then the flow happens. So the new life, the soulmates come, and the flow happens. And that's when you actually flow to the sea, literally. I mean, maybe not literally, unless that's what you're doing, of course, but figuratively, you get into the flow. You begin to really get your stride, really understand what you're doing in whatever area it is, right? So the thing that I have learned is that when there is something new that I'm being called to do, that if I just say yes, cards 2 and 3 happen. The people show up in my life to help me. I get the transformation that I need to be able to do the thing I'm called to do, and it flows naturally and beautifully to the sea. The whole thing comes to fruition in a way that I can't explain. Have you ever had that happen? You had a goal, or you had something you were interested in, or you even had that thought of like, oh, this is going to happen someday, and then you forgot about it, and then all of a sudden there it is, right in front of you, or you've become that. Yeah, if so, put it in the comments or reach out to us and let me know, because I find it really, really interesting. We've all had these experiences. So I would challenge you, if you think, oh no, that's never happened to me, think about it for a while. Take some time. Take a few days and really think about it. Because I promise you, if you look hard enough, you'll see that you've had these things happen. Even if you have to go back to saying, you know what, I know how to read and write. And somewhere I didn't know how to read and write, right? And so the right teacher came along that knew how to teach me. Now you can write that off as like I was in first grade or whatever, but the fact is that teacher came along and cared enough to teach you how to read and write, right? And then it flowed. So even if you have to start there to crack this open, to then begin to see other places where you've had new things that you're exploring, and then you've seen people come into your life and help you learn how to flow. Definitely put it in the comments. I really want to hear how this has happened in your life, because it is the process. It is the process. I started a company from scratch, from nothing, literally nothing, 13 and a half years ago. And I knew nothing about starting a business. Had I taken a single business course? No. I'm an architect. They didn't teach us business in school, right? That was a whole different school. It's like, that's where the architecture students went when they couldn't handle architecture class. Like, I wish I was kidding, but I'm not kidding. So in my school, the university I went to, that's what happened. It's like, well, if you can't handle architecture and you can't stay up as many nights as we had to stay up to get our assignments completed, then you ended up going to business school. So I guess in some ways, luckily, I didn't take any business classes because I made it through architecture school. And had no idea how to run a business. No clue. And architects, these are all gross generalizations, of course, right? There are many architects that are great business people, and there are many business people who didn't drop out of architecture school. So, but I had a lot of people who were business owners that helped me, right? These are the soulmates that showed up to help me understand how to start a business, what to do, how to protect myself in that business, what I needed from a structural standpoint and insurance and all that stuff, right? I didn't know any of that. I didn't know any of that. But other people did. And those people were brought into my life. And then, here we go. So I want you to look for ways in which this has happened in your life. Because what it does is that's us measuring backwards, right? That's us looking and realizing that, oh my gosh, this is the way it happens. And I can see it clearly in my life. And so now, this new thing I'm being asked to do maybe is a little less scary. Because I know there's a process. I know that if I say yes to it, that's the new life in the reverse. If I say yes to it and I acknowledge that I don't have experience, then the soulmates show up to help me. And I flow to the sea. All right, chickadees, have a wonderful day. I love you. Please follow or hit subscribe or whatever it is on this, whatever social media platform you're watching this on. And we will be back next week with another long form video and then some short form videos for you. So, all right, take care. We will see you soon. Mwah.